Welcome to Coffee Bunny Cafe.
It's brought to you by a bunch of weirdos.
We are super chaotic today.
Even more than usual.
Chaos! Yes, and they're friends. Yes, and they're fur babies.
There will be
so fluffy, so
there
cute.
will be no Hephaestus tapping at me and meowing for takeout today.
We're doing all sorts of crazy things. Writing and
coffee.
coffee.
That coffee looks so good. Like I would like one.
Thanks, Charlie, for the music.
Pressing buttons. That will eventually happen, y'all. There we go. Yay! And we caught a Maggie.
Hello, lovelies. I've been over on this as soon as the power came back on this morning. I've been over modding on the Sweet Treats Marathon Sprintathon today. So it's been a long day.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
You will hear extra voices in my background.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you'll hear extra voices in my head. And I'm like, those aren't supposed to leak out. Or that's what the therapist tells me anyway.
No, I
But
thought
those-
they
But
leaked
those
out
become
into the print.
thieves.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, we used to have, I still have a psychiatrist friend who was like, "Tell me about the voices," and I'm like, and this was I was actually talking about the Trouble with Angels characters. They keep talking in my head. This was a long time. This was like 12 years ago, and he's like, "What are they saying?" And they don't stop, and I'm like, "It's not like that, Chris." He's like, tell me about it though. And I'm like, it's very clear you don't know any writers.
Oh,
You would understand that, like, they're like.
well, I don't know if this is going to let me do this.
They'll
I don't know
talk
if I can do it.
constantly in our heads to each other. They make commentaries about what we're doing, but it's not a mental disorder. Very overly active imagination.
So I have to go pause all of the redeems on my Twitch.
Yeah.
I can't use I don't have the program here
Yeah.
for some of my redeems. I just have to remember how to do it.
I have snoring dogs.
Oh.
So sorry, Maggie. It must be so hard to be here.
Those can
It's so
stay
hard.
on.
So today I was out filming B-roll for my documentary that is happening. And while I was going through the footage, I realized that the graffiti on one of the areas, they had cleaned it off. So it was just like it's lighter where the writing used to be. And it says some bad words. And so I'm like, I'm gonna have to like blur that part and I show that video. But I got some great little clips of like the gas lamp and like these buildings are gorgeous.
Nice.
And then they also had this the oldest building in the gas lamp quarter is now the gas lamp museum, and it had this gorgeous this gorgeous little, like, in the middle of the city, this cute little seating area.
What a cute little patio.
Yeah. And
It
it's
feels
like right in the middle of
somebody
the...
should be there with a coffee cart or something.
Yeah, something.
It's really cute.
Or like, you know, it would be a good spot to like pawn your book on people. Like, hey, you know, set up a little table, start reading your book out, you know, make sure there's like a tea and coffee cart there so that, you know, they have something to drink while you are reading your, like, I think it would be great, but that's where my mind goes. And then I have one more that I wanted of I found the Horton Grand Hotel, which is featured heavily in my my whatchamacallit. my documentary, because it was at one point it used to be lodging houses for the ladies of the evening.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm gonna have to send off an email like, hello, to whom it may concern. May I please go film at your hotel? Also, may I please check out some of the rooms that are still like in the way it used to look, at least a while ago. I want to see the style of the rooms and how I'm. It's such a gorgeous hotel though. Like they've turned it's back in the 1800s and the early 1900s. It was notorious for being disreputable, and now it is where like you go if you have like a lot of extra money and you want to like spend it all, because it's pricey and it's fancy and it's gorgeous, and I'm just like, ooh, what a difference between then and now.
It's definitely a big difference.
Definitely. And it's interesting, like you gotta wonder how many people have no idea that the place they're staying at in San Diego, like they don't advertise that history that they do to some extent, but not to the extent I think they should, honestly.
Oh, I'm looking at the pictures of the rooms, and I'm like, oh, they've changed them so much.
Aw.
They're like,
Disappointing.
yeah.
But
Oh well.
there's also another hotel. They moved it from its original location down in the Stingery to like, it's still technically in the Stingery, but it used to be the tallest building in San Diego at the time. It was only like, what was it, 2 stories or something? And it was the tallest building at the time. I can't wait to go check that one out. Like that is on my list of places to go look at.
So
But I wandered the streets
tell
like,
us
over
about
here is
your,
where the tub of blood is from. And then the 7 buckets of blood, which was right across the street from the.
Megan,
Sorry.
that kind of thing needs an introductory sentence.
Sorry.
That is not something you just buckets of blood, y'all. Buckets of no.
Yeah.
I used to live in a town that the entire town was literally a slaughterhouse.
Oh man.
So yeah, the soil was super rich there. I mean,
Oh,
it grew like crazy. Everything grew like crazy.
Nutrients. Gotta value those nutrients.
all right. So, like, if we're going to talk about blood in the soil, all right, let me just say, one fact that if you are going to have a watermelon patch and you want the sweetest watermelons, this is how you like pay off the mortgage kind of knowledge. You get yourself an actual 55-gallon of chicken blood from the chicken plant, and you put it in the soil the autumn before you're going to start your watermelon patch, and people will pay you top dollar for your watermelons, and you can pay off the farm mortgage that way, just doing that. And that is like, that is the trade secret I was told by a man who told me that he owed me his life, so he was going to give me this piece of knowledge. And I have heard from other people that if you do that, if you're going to grow those tomatoes, like there is a tomato breed called Mortgage Buster.
Oh.
And again, people will pay top dollar for these really sweet beefsteak tomatoes. And again, you get yourself a 55-gallon drum of chicken blood, and you put it in the soil the autumn before, and then you till it and let it sit over the winter, and you will have the biggest, hugest, most red, ripe, gorgeous tomatoes. because again, the nutrients in the soil. Yeah,
It's
like,
it's
the
and you
sacrifice.
have to have sandy. You have to have sandy soil. They like sandy soil. You got to do it at least 6 months before, preferably a year. Here's the thing they don't tell you: when you spray that onto the soil and till it under, you're gonna have so many freaking flies.
Yeah, the flies will be
It's
unreal.
Oh yeah.
be like biblical plagues of Moses levels of flies. But it works. You can also do it with milk.
Yeah.
If you live near one of the big dairies and they have some milk that they don't get out on time, or if they're
Yeah, like sour
flushing
milk.
their containers and you get milk, you put that on the field, you plow it under, and you just let it set, you will end up with I mean, tomatoes, watermelons, also corn and beans really like milk baths on their soil.
No, I didn't know that about
Um,
corn and beans, but it's good to know.
yeah. Yeah, but no,
I just knew
the
it about
blood
watermelons and tomatoes because again, that's how you. If
the blood thing
if your
the
mortgage
blood
ends up
thing
being
is a real
sold
thing.
to developers, that's how you bust your mortgage.
Yeah,
Really, like that's
the blood thing is a real thing. We had where I grew up in East Texas. There was in this little community called literally named Sandfield after the place where the guy grew all the melons and stuff. We always knew that he was done farming for the fall because you would drive to go past his place and do the little jog in the
Right.
road, and it would smell like there had been a murder.
Yep.
And it was like, oh well, guess he's getting it set for the
Like,
planting.
it is really interesting from an anthropological perspective about the crossover between agrarian life. You know, like we as humans didn't always farm. Once upon a time, more hunter gatherers, and then the desire for constant carbs. A lot of us became farmers, but also at the same time became this very popular thing, essentially localized religions. And again, like when we talk about, everybody knows that about blood and milk in the soil. Like it is a thing, but also it is weird. And thoughts, so many thoughts, especially as writers, so many thoughts.
But is it weird, or is it weird because culturally, since the Victorian era, things that are considered dirty or things that are considered trash are no longer socially acceptable practices, even though you know that this is the way you do this. You know, the old timers all know this, but it's, I mean,
I think it's more of the mythology that builds up
composting
around what we know we need to do in order to be healthy as humans, including like, what we need to do to the soil, because again, we're depleting it by growing things rather intensively, far more intensively than would naturally be growing that way. And so, yeah, the mythology we as humans build around sacrificing into, like, there's a whole thing, and it's like, yeah, that's what I mean about it's weird, it's a little weird. It's still interesting. Like, will I still put some of my goat's milk in the soil in the winter when we're doing all the harvest? Yeah, sure, I am. Of course I am. I'm not stupid. But am I gonna feel a little awkward while I do it? Yes, of course I am, because the old gods must be fed. Like,
no, it's all because the Victorians and the royals, all after the Dark Ages, we started shifting into this consumerism society where anything wasteful, anything waste, or anything overused, well, that just needs to be thrown away, and people don't look at the practical use of what do I do with food that's gone bad. I mean, there's like in the Great Depression, there were so many recipes, water pie. Water pie is a thing.
And it's, yeah.
And
I think it goes back further than the Victorians, though. I think it goes back to the Age of Reason in the 17th and 18th centuries, where we had philosophers turning into scientists and doing some wild and weird and wonderful things. I think it was that where they were like, no, we're reasonable. We'll use scientific method to determine why the world is the way it is. We're not going to feed the old gods anymore. And it's like, it's cool to find out why things are the actual way they are, but blood must be paid.
Yeah, well, people they're just being able to throw things away.
I know, like when people talk about like how we're supposed to like be recycling and reusing, and I'm like, that's just called living in the country. Why y'all?
Yeah, that's what poor people do all the time.
Like, and that's why we don't have as much waste, but also it is better economically to reuse items. Like, again, you do. Why would you waste? Why would you be like, oh, this looks tattered, I'm done with it? Like
people, why do you keep a pickle jar? Because you can reseal a pickle jar and pickle something else in it.
Oh, it drives me nuts now that so many pickle jars are non-standard lid sizes. Oh, like, don't get me.
Yeah.
Don't get me on that.
That it's almost impossible to find a jar lid. If you lose the lid or the lid gets bent, then you had to find a new lid.
Like,
I have discovered that glass jar brands for canning are now becoming brand specific for the rings and flats.
Ma'am, no.
Yes.
I rebuke these things. No.
Yes.
Is Cat muted because her parents are commenting and she doesn't want us to hear? I'm teasing. But, like, no. Okay, that's the devil's work. Okay? To destandardize our I'm ready for the now.
Triggered her.
I'd heard a venture capitalist company had bought ball jars. I had heard that happened a couple years ago, and I was like, this will never go well. Okay, nothing
Colorado
good
Avalanche. Happened. Okay, Colorado Avalanche ice hockey arena is now Ball Arena.
Okay, it says something when they have enough money for that. Like, it's freaking glass jars, y'all. Okay.
Oh, their big thing isn't glass, though. All they talk about is the aluminum. All they talk about is the aluminum and aluminum recycling and how much aluminum has been used and not been recycled. FYI, all of this, they talk about all this aluminum that will never be recycled. That stuff's inside of buildings. So yeah, it won't be recycled unless they take the building down. But yeah, no, it's now Ball Arena. Yeah.
We live in the upside down, but the monsters look like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Anyway, Kat is currently at Disney.
I am.
Kat, let me ask you, do you want to do the showing of the treats now? Or do you want to wait till after the first sprint is open? It's up to you, because like either way is valid. I don't know what you want.
It's so fluffy, so cute.
I wish you could just like pass her through.
She's got such a cute face.
I need a snuggle cat. Leia she only wants to snuggle after 3 a.m.
Hephaestus doesn't like to snuggle either unless I'm sleeping.
See, look,
or
she will literally,
he's like, I will press
lay on my arm and hold on.
Like, yeah, I want a snuggle baby. And also, Leia needs a friend anyway, I'm just saying. I tried to convince Tom that, but he's like, she has the outside, all the feral cats. And I was like,
it's not the same.
Not the same, because she comes home for treats and to play. But look at the snuggle baby.
Yes, always in the lap, always under arms.
Every writer needs a snuggle baby to accompany them and supervise their writing, I'm convinced.
I just need the back of my desk chair to be bigger so Hephaestus can lay there.
I know.
He
Have you
wants-
thought about
He
getting
wants
a new one?
so badly to lay there.
You need to get one
What you
for like
need-
wide-backed ladies.
Or what you need is like, you almost need like a lunchbox that you can just
Look
put
at these babies.
on the back of the chair so that
Yeah,
he can lay on top of the lunchbox. You know, oh, look at the puppies.
Maggie!
Remember Agent Mayhem? How tiny he was.
What a
You're
moose.
such a big boy.
You have a moose. You don't have a dog. You've got a
That's
moose.
yeah, that's larger than mini horses. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he is.
Because I've sent
Come
Maggie
here,
videos
come
of
here.
mini
Look
horses.
at something.
Look
Look how big that tooth is.
Yes, that's a snaggle tooth you got there.
That's a big
He's got a
boy.
big tooth and
That
a
is
big head.
He's a pony. That's not even a mini horse. You have a pony.
All right. I think I'm going to do
That's
this
the day.
until before so that
Okay.
I can pop my headphones
Okay,
Got
go
so
on.
that my mom can go to sleep.
All right, let me get you big.
I'm gonna let the doggos out. I got to see all the
Okay.
really cool stuff, so I will be right
Yes.
back. But the
Okay.
doggos went out.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Look.
Wait, I think I have don't we have? Yeah, we have the showing of the notions.
Did you
That's
add the
really
showing
cool.
of the notions?
No, but you're showing your stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, I was wondering if we added the
Yeah.
banner. We do.
Here, I'll move. Oops, sorry, I did not mean to do that. My apologies. Let me move Megan. So, okay. You got to do it this way. This way. Barm, barm. Yeah, you'll learn. Yeah, there we
When
go.
I like this, it acts like it's deflecting.
Cool.
Yes, Tom's like big toys. Yes.
So I picked oh gosh. It's like peace and protection or something, or like I don't know. I picked one of them. So you're given
Who needs
three.
something? Who cares?
You're given three options, and then from that you get to customize it from it. So like I had two options for this piece, and this piece. There was 4 of them, and you got to pick 2 of them. This there was 2 options, and then this there were 2 options.
Nice.
Very nice.
And I of course picked the one with the most patterns. Also, this is
Yeah.
quite heavy. Like the little
Nice.
girl that was making a lightsaber next to me, she almost couldn't hold it up.
Oh wow.
Like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
heavy. Like it is solid. Also, I kind of picked this end piece because it almost looks like a Mandalorian head.
Yeah. Very
So
cool.
this is my lightsaber.
Nice.
Yeah.
I picked a purple kyber crystal. And so this is my band.
You and
So,
Samuel
yeah.
Jackson.
So I already had, this is the band my mom got me. This is like my girl stuff. But I bought the ears that match.
Yeah.
And the bow comes off, so I can take the bow off if I want.
Mm.
And
Oh, so
Yes,
cute.
so cute.
So adorable.
this bag is amazing.
Yes.
And my
lovely.
little friend here
Oh,
is a magnet.
it's cute,
So he can just be my little friend. Anywhere.
Nice.
Yeah. So cute.
So these are the
Very
things, and I've only been to Hollywood Studios. I'm still gonna go to Epcot and Magic Kingdom yet.
Fun.
Very cool. And then of course your Grogu.
Yes.
Nice.
So pretty. Isn't that gorgeous?
So I wore these to Hollywood Studios. I got to meet Chewbacca and Edna Mode.
Nice. Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I also got a pin that says my first visit.
Lovely.
I think somewhere I still have my pin from my 16th birthday.
Yeah, my mom has a happy
Or
birthday.
was it my 15th birthday? It was a birthday. I went.
I went. All right. So should we do our first little sprinty sprint
Sure.
now?
I'm gonna change. I'm sprint.
Okay. Yeah, I am. I definitely was having ADHD day today, like major. So I chose coffee for
You know that's
sprint. But all right, everybody, good luck, and we will see you on the flip side. Me bada beep. Bibbida bibbida. Me bada beep. Moomina moo. Moomina moomina. Moomina moo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We caught a wild Carrie. Woot woot. A tired Carrie.
I had to work earlier today. And then I played Raft on hardcore mode with Haley. We only played for like an hour, but
Yeah.
it's a
Live your
challenge
life.
she's starting. She's streaming it. I don't know. We've been doing it on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So how'd everybody's sprint
sitting
go?
in the dark.
I got laundry switched, doggos fed, some stuff typed. I responded to somebody about using tarot in a story. And yeah, the things and the things.
The things. A lot of things.
My stepdad has returned
I
from
set
his
up all my
adventures.
pill things.
Mm. Anyway, I warmed up a croissant. I had some eggs. I refilled my coffee. I picked out the poem to work on. And did you have the little cottage cheese, little fruit bowl for later? Yum, yum, yum.
Fur baby.
Let's see what we got.
It's Ladybug.
Dude.
Oh.
Tiny chihuahuas made of anger and snuggles.
Well, right now, tiny Chihuahua has a belly full of rice and boiled duck eggs.
Nice.
And the wind has started blowing again, and I'm hoping that it doesn't take out our internet. Because they're laying... Okay, so we've got, like, high-speed cable internet now, fiber optic. But now they are laying an extension down the road north of us to all the new houses that are being put in there. So...
Mm-hmm. Fence.
I'm hoping that they made it so that we don't have to worry about it this weekend. But this last night, the storm, we had a big thunderstorm hit south of us, and yeah, we didn't have power overnight because Colorado passed a thing that they're no longer allowed to use treated poles for power lines. What happens to wooden poles in Colorado after 2 years?
Oh, they just disintegrate.
They just dry rot into twigs.
Wow.
So yeah.
What a choice.
That's a terrible decision they made.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kat, we are talking about Colorado, the Mississippi of the West. I said. I have now inadvertently learned so much about Colorado because of the Colorado PBS has a YouTube channel. And I have been watching that, and that is wild.
Oh, Colorado, yeah. As for us, like talking like all the environmental game, it's like they don't tell you that there's like a an open pit radioactive site. One is up by Golden, the other one is down near Canyon City, where literally, places where they used to process like uranium and stuff like that, and it's just so contaminated that, yeah, if you live close to there, you're lucky if you don't die of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's
the gold mining areas, the gold and silver and copper mining areas where they used cyanide and arsenic to titrate out the metallic ores to further refine them. And now the soil in those areas is so contaminated that like wildlife won't stay there. They're super green and lush because adding cyanide and arsenic to plants makes them go crazy. And the areas are beautiful, but no one will ever be able to live there because the mining towns that were there burned, and all the contamination from the heavy metals went into the soil. And like livestock, like they can never put livestock on there. The migratory animals, the deer, the elk, the moose, the things like that, they walk through that area and don't even stop. And like even the birds won't stay in the area.
Well, that's because they get heavy metal poisoning.
And they know this. They know that these beautiful green valleys.
it's a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like Colorado does a great job of making me grateful to live in South Mississippi because I didn't used to feel that kind of gratitude. It's super hot down here. It's so humid. It's so humid that fish walk in the summer. And yet, our radioactivity is confined to the salt mines.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually kept from
there's
proliferating the wilderness, which is kind of cool.
There's entire neighborhoods that they've had to like move people out of. There's a huge neighborhood in Pueblo right now that because of the paper mill that was there, they're having to like put special filtrations on all of the houses because of the water contamination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know enough about paper mills. I was literally looking up tracts of land for where we will put our commune here in South Mississippi that you're all coming to, whether you know it or not. Like,
Some people will have a vacation home there.
Yeah, you'll have like your own little mini house on the commune. And one of the properties that I was looking at, and I look and see it's on Paper Mill Road. Like, nope, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, it's Colorado has got some like, and they're like, okay, so we have this invasive Japanese pine bark beetle.
Yep.
And like 20 years ago, when we had the chance to get ahead of this thing,
yep,
they were like, no, we can't. We're just, and they don't even let like logging companies go in and like cut down the dead and dying trees.
Yeah, disease stuff. Yeah.
And so like when the fires blow up, it's literally standing kindling. Just
yep.
And the worst part is like then everybody knows the next big fire is going to blow up between Rabbiters Pass and Steamboat Springs, because if you drive up there, 5 out of every 6 or 7 trees is sick or dead. And it's like that whole area, we're just waiting for that end of the state to go and burn to the ground.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with Spence. The birds tell their babies fairy tales about the cursed valley instead of the haunted forest.
The beautiful green valley that looks like the perfect place.
That no animals will live in. Yeah. Which is kind of funny because, I mean, you heard about Chernobyl and all the animals there, and it's like
the Chernobyl dogs,
the werewolf, the wild wolves, and all the other.
Well, what I think is interesting is back when I was back in the 80s when I was in high school, we talked about the ability, especially right after Chernobyl. This was right after Chernobyl. We were talking about the necessity to be able to mark toxic sites, like places that can't be cleaned up. How do we mark these sites so that in 100, in 1,000 years, like if there is a great societal collapse, how can we leave something that would basically be the equivalent of Stonehenge
Mm-hmm.
at these places? Like there are places in White Sands
Mm-hmm.
that you still, like, you should not be there for more than an hour or two. You have to wear a badge, just like if like you're doing the Chernobyl tourism.
Yep.
You have to wear a badge. They look at your rads and they're like, okay, you got to go back. You can stay for a little while longer. You haven't hit your rads yet. And like places where there are chemical sites where it's like, like just the air itself is toxic. How would we as a society figure out how to mark these sites so that in generations people would still know, do not come to this place?
I mean, it's a whole area of study of how to make long-term signage that any creatures who can perceive communication could understand of stay away from here, it's dangerous. Like there's still ongoing research, anthropological research being done about this and testing with various groups that are fairly isolated about like, so what do you think this side means? What do you think this means? Give us your thoughts. Trying to understand that because it's a legitimate problem of needing signage that will last 100,000 years.
And how would you mark like a beautiful river? How do you mark it? Do not drink this water. Something we have not figured out because we still stick metal and plastic signs on these places, and they don't last.
It's true. It's true. Maggie feeling goth today. I can't say anything. I was looking at poems in my trigger warning folder.
I look forward to this poetry book.
Thank you. The poetry book Kat is working on is the publishing coordinator. I like to, by the way, I've started updating people who don't really keep up on my life very much, but every once in a while they're like, hey, how is it going? And I'm like, it's great. I think my first book of poetry is going to get published this year, the publishing coordinator says. That kind of stuff. It's all true.
Okay, so I found a hat that says Chaos Coordinator. And I think I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I was looking up like hats that say teacher for me to put on, in all honesty. And I was like, all right, this is my teacher hat. Now that cat time. Because visual cues are a thing.
Yeah.
Chaos Coordinator instead of publishing coordinator.
So much truth in advertising.
It is.
Oh, coordinating chaos is the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, what is it? There's tired, and there's the week before spring break tired.
Oh, I feel that.
Or there's like
Spring break starts
right after.
day after tomorrow, technically.
Yeah.
Don't remind me about my grades.
It's fine.
You're doing fine, Megan.
I know. It's going to be okay.
Let's see. Tom says, I was listening to a show about historical mysteries, and they were discussing Alexander the Great's death. And the idea of poisoned water from the river Styx, and a scientist thinks she figured out where the mythical river is based on its effects as a real river in Greece,
Wow.
with a very special type of toxic bacteria that grows near the origin and means that anyone who drinks it would have a similar reaction to Alexander the Great's death and take about a week or two to die.
You know, this is because they did believe that the river Styx was the barrier between life and death.
Yeah, you go into renal and liver failure. That is not a fun way to die
No.
in an age when you don't have dialysis.
Yeah.
What is interesting is there's actually a river in Mexico that is ammonia.
Wow.
The river is so alkali. It's basically an ammonia spring that comes out, and there's actually a species of axolotl and another species of salamander that live in the ammonia river.
Wow.
You know what this tracks with those?
Life finds a way.
Everything else dies that drinks this water that comes out of the ammonia spring, except these two little birds. Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah.
Harry, you missed showtime. You missed showing of the notions of the things I got. You have to wait until I return home,
Oh,
or you
okay.
have to rewind the YouTube video. I made
Maybe I'll do that
my
at work tomorrow.
lightsaber today.
It's so cool.
Yes.
Woo!
And
It's
showed not one
very
but two different
fancy.
Disney ears.
Yes, I got
And
2 sets of ears
yeah,
in a bag.
like,
Y'all didn't even see my hat.
no.
The lights are off now, though. So
Yeah.
You'll just have to send us a picture tomorrow.
I think,
I saw the Stitch bag this morning.
yeah.
The Stitch bag is super cute.
It is super cute.
Yeah.
Ladies, it's almost 8:00 Colorado time. I have to go because I have to give myself some medicine and get ready for bed. So
Good night, Maggie.
thank
We're
you for
about to
having
leave.
me. It was so fun. I miss all of you so much.
Thank you.
It is
Lovely
good to
seeing
see
you.
all of you again. And bye.
Bye.
Should we? Yeah, I was like, it's Maggie.
I was about to say something, and then they talked.
Shall I go ahead and start our next sprinty sprint?
Are you cool if I leave now? Okay. I've been up since like 6:30 this morning.
Yeah, and you have more to do tomorrow.
Yes, 22,000 steps today.
Or
We
me.
don't
And you're
know what we're
probably gonna
doing.
do 30 tomorrow.
We don't know what we're doing tomorrow because it might. There might be thunderstorms tomorrow.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
and we have one day that we won't be going to a park because we have 3 park days and 1 non-park day.
Gotcha.
So
Cool.
tomorrow might be a non-park day if it
Yeah.
rains that much.
Yeah, because it's a pretty bad storm. Not so terrible here, but like winds and stuff.
Yeah, so. But all right. It was lovely seeing you all.
Okay.
Night, cat.
Night.
Right. All right. Here we go. Second sprint. Let me fix this. All right. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side. Me better beep. Me better beep. Bibbidi beep beep bibbidi beep. Boobada boop. Bibbidi boop boop. Bibbidi beep 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 bibbidi boop. We like this better. I don't know. How are you, Carrie?
And then there were two.
Oh, yes, yes. Megan went to bed. I was deep into like editing my poem and everything. Like
I'm updating all the apps on my tablet. I haven't done that in a while.
I am almost
And it
done
shows.
setting up the poem post, and I am now down to the one of the last things I have to do, which is to look at pictures I've recently taken of my cat of Leia. And figure out which ones I post as a secret bonus at the bottom of my poems. That's right. If you scroll
I've been loving the cat videos you've been putting up on TikTok.
Thank you. Well, they say the internet loves cats, and like,
Even though
I'm learning.
you and Charlie are getting on there, and there's apparently going to be another ban in a few days,
Another band?
or so they
Is that
say.
really? I hadn't heard that.
After what happened in January, I don't believe it.
No, I don't believe it.
So
Because it's all just orchestrated stuff. It's grandstanding. I don't believe it. But I mean, they say the internet loves cats, and I'm still just learning how to make TikTok videos. Like I'm trying to get familiar with the TikTok software, and Tom gave me some mics for me to hook up to my phone so that I can start recording like my poems and posting that to TikTok.
yeah, good promo for
Because
for your like your Substack and for the collection
look,
coming
baby,
out.
150,000, and like honestly, if I'm gonna be brutally honest, probably with inflation, more like 200,000 subscribers that I will require in order to. Also, let's be honest, I need the readers. I just need to know people are reading what I write and are then thinking about it. Like I need to know that either, the poems speak to them, or like that my characters are now talking in their heads. So, haha, I've, shared the woke mind virus. Yay. That's what I need. But yeah, that's I'm working on that, is learning how to use the TikTok. I think you do great, Carrie. Like I've really been admiring your TikTok account. Like, and all of the, like, I haven't even figured out how to do those audio along things that you do. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
The hardest part is like keeping up with the speed of some of them.
Because they talk faster, or
Mm-hmm. Like the Jeff Dunham ones. He talks real fast.
Yes. I have learned trying to do karaoke with some stuff that has rap in it, of like, oh no, I am a slow talking Southern girl. I just need to accept the truth of it. Well, how was your sprint?
Good. It's been far too long since I've updated the apps on my tablet. So I'm doing that.
Yeah, it's necessary. I found out that yes, we are right now in Mercury in retrograde. So yes, that explains so much, doesn't it? Like, yeah. Like, yeah. Like, here I was teasing Tom about it, but no, let's see. It goes to, what is it? March 14th through April 6th. Mercury is in retrograde. We've got, and then after that, we'll have 2 more retrogrades this year. One
I
July.
was terrified when I walked into work and saw a notice on the door, and I went, "Oh no, do we have a big outbreak or anything like that?"
Oh, Lord.
No, it was just a reminder that no bread products are to be brought in because Passover's
Yes.
coming up, and I went,
Passover's coming.
"Poof."
Passover's coming, baby. Do you know how you can remember when Passover starts?
Mm.
It starts the same day as Doctor Who. Yeah. Yeah. April 12th. Yeah. That's how you can remember. Like, and that is literally how I am remember. Like, because like I'm in charge of the vegetables for our synagogue's Passover dinner, right? And like I'm literally going, wait, do I need to? Oh no, because Doctor Who's still more than 2 weeks away. I'm fine. Like that's literally how I am keeping track of my vegetable prep. Is like we're not even close enough yet to the Doctor Who season. But that is literally how I'm keeping track of like, no, we're more than 2 weeks out. I shouldn't be buying vegetables yet. No, it's fine. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to put up all the reminders because,
yeah.
especially since now the non-Jewish population where I work is the majority,
Yep.
but they still,
Yeah, they still
adhered by
follow.
everything.
Like, look,
But
even in Reform Judaism, we still follow it for the 8 day. Like, and people make jokes about Reform Judaism. Do we even try? But it's like, yeah. Everybody was excited to find out I'm in charge of vegetables again this year. They're like, yay. And I'm like, how terrible were the vegetables before? Like, but yeah, because all I do is just chop and roast vegetables. I do make a special Passover spice blend
mhm.
for it. I mean, I do that, like, and make like an
I was
enormous amount.
I was laughing. This was like pre-plague times.
Mm,
Um, there were a couple of residents, and they've since passed away.
mm.
But like a day or two before Passover started, they ordered like a big DoorDash, like um
All the
a
carbs.
big old bag of Applebee's
Yes.
and
Yes.
desserts and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what are you guys celebrating? And they're like, Passover's like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the one gentleman was like, it's like Fat Tuesday for Jews.
Yes. Yes. Eat all the pasta. Eat all the carbs. Get it done. Now, that said, Carrie, I like matzah. Matzah's delicious. And I actually like Carrie. One day I'm gonna have to make matzah pizza for you.
Mm.
I make it like pretty much. That's what I have for lunch every single day of Passover, is matzah pizza. Like it's gonna change your life, honey. I mean, like I don't normally say that, but you and Peanut would love matzah pizza. I just make it in the toaster oven, and it is like you don't know thin crust till this. This is actually a delicious cracker crust kind of pizza. And with the gooey cheese on top, it's so good. It's so flippin' good. I think that you would really love it. But again, like I don't quite understand why the rest of the world isn't into matzah. It's an enormous saltine cracker. It's a saltine cracker the size of your face. What is not to love about a huge ass cracker? It's so crunchy. I then and I should probably send this to you. I saw a reel of this woman making that, that like supposed to be, healthy Snickers bar thing with the dates and the peanut butter or the almond butter, you know what I'm talking about, with the chocolate on top?
Mm.
She did that, but she had a matzah at the bottom, and she's like, look, I'm going to tell you this now. The crunch is unbelievable. You are going to love this. And I'm like, ma'am, you have just talked me into buying a whole, like, 2-pound box of dates at Sam's Club. So, because that looked so flippin' good when she made that. So, like, yes, we all love bread, and, not eating leavened bread for 8 days, it's kind of a little wrench in, like, what you're used to. But also, matzah's freaking delicious, and you haven't lived till you've had, like, a ranch dressed salad on a matzah cracker. And you're just like this. Nom, nom, nom. Like, it's a much better way to eat salad. I mean this. So there's like a salad sandwich, again, with the ranch dressed greens and, all your usual salad things you like. And then between 2 pieces of matzah, like, it is nice. Okay. Like, you'll love it. I had a friend of mine, she and her husband came to one of my Passover dinners once. And he'd never been to one and everything. And he fell in love with matzah so hard, I let him take both the open box of matzah and one of the extra boxes of matzah I had at the house. Because, I had bought a bunch of extra matzah because you don't want to run out of that. And she told me he was literally sitting in the car while she drove home because she was pregnant. So she didn't drink, but he did drink. So he was a little tipsy. And she's like, he's just literally sitting in the passenger seat eating. He ate 3 whole matzah on the way home. He was like, and he kept saying, this is so good. This is the most amazing thing ever. Like, and she told me, like, it's now been like, I don't know, 8 years since then. And she told me, because they've now moved to Texas, she told me every month when she's making the grocery list, and she's like, what do you want me to be sure to put on the list? He's always like, be sure to put a box of matzah on there for me. And now their daughter is old enough that he also says that put a box of matzah on there for their daughter, Ari, because both father and daughter know enough to know that they're not going to share. So they need separate matzah boxes every month for them to just snack through like little squirrels. And I just think it's the cutest dang thing I've ever heard. I gotta be honest. I mean, so anyhow. Well, that about wraps it up for us for today. We've had a lovely broadcast, and I'm so glad you got to come hang out with us, Carrie. It's so lovely to see you every time. And we'll be back next week in April, and Kat will be back to her usual shenanigans because she's right now at Disney. And we will see y'all next time.